we're off on October 2nd to go visit Mr. Joe Rogan, and I know you were there a year ago or a year and a half.
Yeah,
ago?
I was actually with Joe very shortly before I went down to Brazil and had my ayahuasca sessions. I was with Joe at the end of September or early October, and then I went down to Brazil and got kicked about for five sessions.
So that was the before,
and gave up cannabis.
Did you get stoned with Joe? Because one of our fans has asked us if we're going to get high with him, and Brian doesn't want to, and I kind of want to, and we're.
Actually, to be completely honest, Joe and I did not get stoned together.
No, okay.
I'd been at a conference down in Irvine, and then I drove up to where Joe lives in part of Los Angeles, and we sat down. I got there a bit late, and it was late at night, and we sat down and did the podcast. And looking at the comments, because I have Joe kindly allowed me to host that podcast on my YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. And lots of people think, when Joe gets up that he's going off to, to take a puff on the bong or these guys are totally stoned. But actually, no, we weren't stoned. We were completely straight during that session. But Joe is just such a lovely, wonderful human being with an incredibly open and inquiring mind, and just very, very gentle and very, very intelligent.
That's cool.
And I loved talking to him, and I definitely got high on the conversation.
We're both so excited to meet him.
It's great. You're gonna have a wonderful time. He's a great human being, and you're really gonna love it.
It was the first time I'd ever heard about Graham, and the first time I think I'd ever heard about ayahuasca was on that show.
Right.
So, and it was really it was a great show because you talked about your work, and I think at the end you started talking about ayahuasca.
Yeah, we got into these issues quite late in the
and
show.
So it was really interesting because you make a lot of assumptions about Graham when you see him, and he talks about his passion at work, and then he just goes somewhere else, and then you're like, but he's built up so much credibility with his knowledge that you're like, okay, I want to listen to this, and it's a good thing about you by spreading all these different messages, I think.
Thank you.
Because you appeal to a lot of people.
Thank you.
I know you're on a speaking tour soon, and I wanted to know how can people find out about that or get in touch with you.
Well, my website is the first obvious portal, www.grahamhancock.com.
Okay.
And there's a tours, events and lectures page on that website, and it happens that in October, November and December I am doing quite a bit of speaking. I've been off the radar for more than a year because I've been writing intensely, but having finished these 2 volumes of War God, I'm taking a bit of a break. I'm going to go and do some speaking. So I'm going to be speaking in the US in early October, in Australia through mid-October to about 23rd of October, and then back in the US again in December. And all the details of that are on my website. Okay. And I also have a Facebook personal page and a Facebook author page, easy to find.
Okay.
The information is on there. I have a YouTube channel. I try to keep people informed.
Yeah, your YouTube channel is very good. I mean, you have a lot of great videos there, and this show is going to be on your, is it grahamhancock.net, right?
Well, it's grahamhancock.com.
.com. Yeah, you can find you easily. Yeah. And you're on Twitter at Graham_Hancock.
Graham_Hancock. I'm not sure if it's double underscore or not.
I think it might be, but I'll check on that. Okay. And I'll post it on
fantastic.
On the video.
You know what I was going to say after the show, I might as well say it now, is that exceeded all my expectations, and my expectations were really high.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I have to agree. I watched a large amount of your videos beforehand, just a kind of preparation, but you're a very powerful man in person.
Thank you. So. Well, I've really enjoyed this conversation. Yeah, time has flown. It reminded me of my discussion with Joe, actually. Nice, relaxing, positive, enjoyable feeling.
Wow. That's because Brian and I popped a couple of pills before we
relaxing with like-minded people. It's good. It's good to talk about things. I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great conversation. People are really going to enjoy. So, thank you so much for coming, Graham. I appreciate making the trip
My pleasure.
to London.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me on the show.
Okay, and until then,
it's about the journey.
All right,
it's about the journey.